It's Deprogrammed, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. That's right. We've done all the work for you. All you have to do is push play and listen. And today, we will be the last splash. Today, we are going to be talking about the Breeders. Adam, I think this may have been the first band that you've done so far that you're the one who put them up on the board. So talk to me about the Breeders. Why did you want to talk about the Breeders?
Thanks, Justin. I reckon the Breeders. So my love of the Breeders came probably for, like a lot of people, from Pixies. So Pixies were, and probably still are, the biggest band to influence my musical taste. Maybe them and the Smiths. And when I was in my early 20s, and so as soon as Breeders came out and Kim released Breeders music, I latched on straight away, and I feel like they probably haven't been remembered as being as an important band as I think they are. So I was really keen to talk about them and kind of bring them back into the conversation, I think, as one of the really important 90s bands. So that's probably why I'm really keen to talk about them today.
That's you'll love to hear it. Let's you spread the love, and here to spread the love with us, Peter. I can't remember if this was just something Adam put up in the group and you said, yeah, I'd like to do the Breeders, or if you signed up on the sign up sheet, ladies and gentlemen, hint hint hint, legionofstupid.com. But you said, hey, yeah, I'll do the Breeders. So here you are. What is it about the Breeders for you?
I actually heard of the Breeders before the Pixies. Like, I had heard about the Pixies, but I'd never heard them. And around that time, like, I was becoming a teenager, and of course, as every teenager was doing in the 90s, I was watching a lot of MTV. And on MTV's Buzzbin came this band called the Breeders. And I thought they were just really, really good. I loved their music. I bought the album. I thought it was great. And then eventually I heard the Pixies, and I was like, oh, so the band that she was in before was, like, also really, really good. And so, yeah, when I saw that you hadn't done an episode about them yet, I was like, hell yeah, I'll talk about the Breeders. They're a great band. And it was really fun to go back and revisit, like, Title TK, because I haven't listened to that album in years, and that album is so good.
So I guess, in a similar boat as you, Peter, as far as I think technically I'd heard of the Pixies before the Breeders, but I never dove in. And like I was a late bloomer to the Pixies. It was like well into my 20s before I considered myself a Pixies fan. And then the Breeders, like, Last Splash came out, and like a friend had it, and of course you hear Cannonball. I'm like, oh, this song's great. I love this. And I never bought the record. I never dove in, but so in my mind, it was the Last Splash, and that was it. Like, I never looked in. To me, I just assumed it was some sort of side project band or something, and never kind of connected the dots. Never bothered to really truly look into, which is a shame. Which is why I'm glad we're doing this, because it's like, here's this band, and before we get into, like, putting 20 together, like, you said something in the chat, Peter, that I think is pretty apt. Like, the Breed, and actually Adam and I were talking about this before too. The Breeders have, like, this very solid, like, it's not like it's a dense discography. There's not, like, a ton of records, but it's dense. Like, it's everything has a shot here. Like, I'm trying to remember exactly how you put it. Like, the Pixies are probably technically the better band. What was it you said?
The Pixies are the better band, but the Breeders have the better discography.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, these records are just, they're outstanding, like, front to back, great. And all of them, like, all of them could, all of them fall under that. And, if somebody made the case of, just listen to Last Splash, technically I think you're right. You're not wrong with that, but I don't think Last Splash is like leaps and bounds better than the rest of the discography. I think that might be an easy way to point somebody to, but I think the rest of the discography is up to snuff. Like this was tough, which brings me to the next layer of the conversation there, Adam. Like how did you go about putting your 20 together for this?
So I'm going to just say, Justin, too, I disagree with you. Last Splash for me is probably not my favorite, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I found it really tough. My first entry into Breeders was Pod, the first album, and I just loved that album so much that I found it very hard not to just load up my list with Pod. But what I found is just listening through is that what we've been saying, it's just there's great tracks throughout every single album and EP. And I found it that naturally ended up that I started to get quite a balance to my list. I had 37 songs to start with. Got it down to about 26, which tends to be what happens to me. And then I sat on that for quite a while and made those final cuts, and have still ended up with quite an even distribution across the album. So I was amazed at how strong the later albums still are, even though I hadn't really given them much of a listen before this exercise.
I'll hold until we get back to me. But Peter, what was it like for you doing this? How did you go about putting your 20 together?
I went in thinking that it was going to be a lot of Last Splash and Title TK, and spoiler alert, it kind of is on my list. But there are some really strong songs on Pod, and Mountain Battles and All Nerve I was hearing for the first time because like they go on and off hiatus like all the time. So like they just dropped off my radar. So, but it turns out those albums are both really, really good. And it was hard to make some cuts from what I had to put songs from those albums on here that deserve to be on the list.
So I'm glad, Adam, you gave Pod some love, because immediately as I push play, like I feel like I had everything from Pod initially, and I was like, okay, well this doesn't work. Let me make some cuts before I even get to the next record. Like I could have easily loaded up, because to me it was that album is what I want to do with this band. You know what I mean? Like this will get you in. This is what they do. And then we can go from there. But then it just kept getting worse. Like, you know, the next album is like, okay, I think the EP is technically next. Like, oh, okay, this is very good too. And then you get to the next record, and it's like, oh, there's so many jams from here too. And I found myself editing, which I don't do often, editing after each record, because I'd have so much from it, until I think I was somewhere similar to you, Adam, somewhere in that 37 range after my first pass. And then like, as you're going through, like by the time I was getting ready to start doing my cuts, we started talking about like how like these were great records. So it's like, okay, this one's already going to be tough. I might as well not make it too hard and just kind of start, you know, without really thinking, just, okay, this checks my Breeders box. This is what I want it to sound like. This is, you know, this is great. This is great. And I mean, it came out balanced. I wish I would have had a little bit more from the later stuff, just because I do think it is on par. It just didn't work out that way. But to me, this sounds like we have the makings of what could be a beautiful, beautiful list, or it could be disaster. So based on everything we've said so far, Adam, how many do you think we're going to get through unanimously?
Wow, you know, I think it's actually going to be really hard to all land, because I honestly think there's a case for so many songs to be in someone's top 20 that I would go, yeah, I see why you had that, but I didn't. So I'm actually going to go pretty low. I'm going to go 4.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Peter, you said it best in the chat. You said this is going to be a lot of yeah, that was really good, but I don't have it. So with that in mind, what do you how many do you think we're going to get through unanimously?
I wanted to go 4, and this never works out for me, but whatever. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to be optimistic and say 5.
5, there we go. All right. Yeah, you guys, 4 was my number 2. So like we're all on the same wavelength. This feels like there should be like a good number of, yeah, I don't want to call them no-brainers, but like ones that were like, yeah, there'll probably be one shocker that we're like, that's the one? Okay. And then it's going to be like either a lot of 2s or a lot of 1s with the caveat of, oh, that was number 21, or, oh man, that was such a late cut. Like I get the feeling it's going to be one of those 2 situations. So if Adam's got 4, Peter's got 5, do I go ultra optimistic or do I undercut is the question. I don't want to undercut because it feels super pessimistic. Like 3 does feel too low. All right, I'll go 6. I'll go positive. I'll take the 6. And we're going to take a quick pause. When we come back, we're going to play the game, Jack. It's Deprogrammed. And with that, the name of the game is Deprogrammed. The 3 of us have combed through the Breeders' discography and plucked out 20 songs that we're now going to mash together in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you, in case you have never given the Breeders the time of day. And you know what? Number 1, how dare you? Number 2, how dare me? Because I hadn't before this. I always love to start with track 1, album 1, but I'm not this time. But I am going to start with album 1 because I do think that sets a great tone for what to expect from this band. I'm going to go with Doe.
Nope.
It was one of my really last cuts. Like, I love Doe. It's fantastic. But no, sorry, Justin.
Well, there we go. See what I mean? Let's start getting getting it out. Okay. All right. Justin,
Okay.
You were wrong. All right, Adam.
So I'm going to stay on pod as well, and just point out too that because I was Pixies obsessed when I got pod, and Breeders actually started up when Pixies was still a band, so they were kind of happening at the same time before they first broke up. And this song that I'm going to pick is Pixies like, and I would have loved if Kim Deal could have done more writing with Pixies, and that is Iris.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Oh, far out.
We are going to be split up. It's going to happen.
Oh, wow.
It's already
I love
happening.
Iris. I believe that.
It's already happening. All right, Peter?
All right, no pressure. I'm
Mm.
going to stay on pod. Let's see if we can find something from pod here. When I Was a Painter.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go. There we go.
I mentioned in the chat that when I re-listened to the song, it felt really similar to Francis Farmer Will Have Revenge in Seattle.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that, and you're spot on. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's just a great album. Such a good album.
Such a great tone-setting record. It tells you exactly what this band is about to be. There it is, the explosion. All right. We got one. All right. Let me go ahead and move on to Last Splash here. How about Invisible Man?
Nope.
No, it was in my first cut, but no.
Nope. I accidentally pushed the button. This is why I got to keep my phone in a different spot. It was under my hand. Okay. Justin, you are batting terribly right now. Invisible Man. I accidentally deleted it too. All right, Adam.
Okay. I'm gonna go with what still is one of my favorite songs, and it's on the EP, Safari, and it's the song Safari.
No,
No.
I could have taken the entire EP. I really could have.
Was that a no from you, Justin?
That was indeed a no, unfortunately.
Oh my god. Okay. This could be a very quick episode.
We're
or a very
in
long
for
episode.
it. Yep, we're in for it. All right, Peter.
Let's just get this out of the way. Cannonball.
Yeah, man. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I'm batting 1,000.
And I posted in the chat with you guys that I saw Breeders just after they released Last Splash live. I was lucky enough to go to a festival that had Ramones, Pumpkins,
God
Breeders, Teenage Fan Club. And still I still pinch myself. I think I was 22, and I still pinch myself that I actually went to that. And when they play Cannonball, it just went absolutely off. It was so much energy, and even though I think maybe everyone's heard Cannonball, I played it to my daughter who has never really heard Breeders, and she just danced around the room. And I thought, this has to be on a list if we're giving it to someone. It just has to.
Even if it's not our number one, which obviously you can make a case for it. It's just a great jam, and I think even though you can probably still hear it now, I don't listen to a lot of radio anymore. Even if this song is still around, people who have heard it probably should re-listen to it, because it's probably even better than you remember it being.
Or people that have heard it but don't know who it is.
That's the other thing. Absolutely. Yeah. So now you know it's the Breeders, and it's on our list. There it is. All right. How about I crack into Title TK here? I'm gonna go with the first track, Little Fury.
That was I had to cut that. I'm sorry.
I like the song, but I don't have it either. I'm sorry.
I
had
to make room. I'm sorry.
I am playing
that album is so solid, isn't it? There's nothing bad on that album. Title TK, it's just great.
I am batting a 0, like an official batting a 0. All right, Adam.
So am I. I think I am as well. So I'm nervous as hell. Okay, I'm going to stay on Title TK and pick a song that just has grown and grown and grown on me. Off You.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Excellent. I feel finally relaxed. Excellent.
1, 2, 3.
Have you guys seen the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I haven't.
So it's about a guy who falls in love with his computer's operating system, but before all that, like, he's just listening to his iPad or his iPod, and he says, play me some music, and he doesn't like what he hears. He says, play me something melancholy, and they play that song.
Oh.
And he's just kind of walking around listening to it. It's a really good scene.
I find it's such a creepy song, isn't it, as well? It's got this sort of edge to it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it, but it's just it's just an absolute unbelievable tune, I reckon.
Steve Albini's production is great with them.
That makes sense. I didn't look into it, but that absolutely makes sense.
I think, though, do you think, Peter, that a lot of people struggled because the Last Splash production is so different to Title TK? They seem to lose a lot of their popularity through that album change, but I think unfairly. But Do you think that was part of that? Because it's so much more stripped back and less polished than Last Splash, isn't it?
I think it was a combination of that and the changing musical climate. At the
Yeah.
time it came out,
That's true.
I think that was like around like, it didn't come out until like 99 or 2000 or something like that. And like a lot of people had moved away from alternative rock.
Yeah.
They were getting less polished as everything was getting more polished almost. Yeah.
And that's a conversation for another day, but I feel like you talk about Steve Albini. That's what Bush did with their second record. They got Albini to produce, but I think they technically got better. That's a conversation for a different day. All right, Peter?
Yeah, Off You was going to be my next pick. Let's see. How about No Aloha?
Yes.
Okay, good. No.
Is that our first two? I think
Yeah,
it might be.
it is.
Yeah.
And I am clearly in the wrong because like at least two people answered that when I asked, and when I was listening, like just before you came on, Adam, I was listening to I was that far through Last Splash, and No Aloha just played, and I was like, oh man, I think I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong for not having this. So
I think Kim achieved with that song what the Pixies were trying to achieve with most of Bossa Nova, that album. It really feels like it could have fitted onto that album, but it's better than a lot of the songs on Bossa Nova. It's a great song, No Aloha. The surf guitar, the sort of Spanish influence, is just something awesome about it.
I mean, what was her deal with the Pixies? Was she trying to write songs and Frank Black just wasn't having them?
Yeah, the deal. Yeah, so basically, what happened after, what happened right through is she wasn't able to get as much, say in songwriting and so on. That it was basically Frank Black wrote all the music. She was probably the most, and it still is probably the most important backup singer to a band of all time. I can't think of any others. I can't. So if you think about Gigantic and some of those songs where she did get to stand in the sun a bit more with the Pixies, I don't know if he particularly liked that, and so they kind of, that's partly why they broke up. But if they could have worked out a way to do a bit of a songwriting partnership, the Pixies could have gone to another whole level again, which is just amazing. But here we are. I think she certainly showed that she was an extremely good songwriter.
Yeah. I think that's an understatement, my friend.
Yeah.
As we're going to get into, because there's a lot of pain left on the table here still.
Absolutely. So. Yeah.
Well, do I keep going forward in the timeline, or do I go back in the timeline is the question. Let's go forward in the timeline. Let's show some love to Mountain Battles here. How about Night of Joy?
Yes.
No.
Okay. All right. It was a bloody first couple of rounds, but we're doing okay here. Okay.
This one really stood out as a different sort of sound. And for some reason, I kept getting, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Twin Peaks, Julie Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
It just kept reminding me of that same vibe. And I love the fact it's just a different, they went in quite a boldly different direction with that as a song on Mountain Battles.
All right. Adam?
Okay. I'm going to go to the latest album, All Nerve, which is also extremely strong. And I'm going to go with Nervous Mary.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh.
Wow.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting that one to be unanimous.
I knew it. I knew there would be one.
I reckon there could be a few, actually, maybe like that. But that's just, how good's that song? It's just
We're up to
unbelievable.
now.
Yeah. What's funny is, like, I don't I don't think they're bad at track ones. Like that's not, the correct statement. But like they're actually really great at track ones of setting the tone of what the record's going to be. Like here's the thesis of what this record is. But like oftentimes I found like it wasn't necessarily what I was looking for. But then when I get to Nervous Mary, I'm like, oh no, this is exactly what I want for them.
Yeah.
All right. Peter?
Speaking of track ones, how about New Year on Last Splash?
Oh, no.
No.
Oh.
That was one. That's another one that I was listening to just before. I was like, oh, I might be wrong on this one.
I think I might be wrong on that one too.
All right. It's me? Back to me? Yeah, because Adam was Nervous Mary and Peter was New Year. Okay. All right, let me come back. How about Divine Hammer?
Yes.
Nope.
It's 2 though. So what? 4 and 7. Okay. Floating right along. Adam?
All right. I might go back to Pod. And one of my favorite, I guess, slightly slower tracks, but pop songs of theirs is "Fortunately Gone."
No.
No.
I like it though.
Oh, damn. It's such an earworm of a song, I think.
It
But
is.
anyway, yeah.
This is now the third time I've had to say this, but as I was listening beforehand, that song came up, and I had to get up and walk away for a second. And as I was walking away, I was humming "Fortunately Gone," and like I was singing it, as I was doing the dishes. And I came back, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like this was a mistake, I think."
That is exactly what happens to me with that song. Once if I listen to Pixie Breeders like this, yeah, it's just the earworm that sticks in my head the most. Yeah. Anyway, goodbye to it.
Yes,
Yeah.
goodbye. We
Goodbye,
remember you
farewell.
remember you fondly, but you go no further. Sorry.
Yeah, off you go.
All right, Peter.
I have this in my notes as a song you could possibly slow dance to. TNT.
No,
I don't have that one.
No.
So far, this is going pretty much exactly how we thought. Okay. I keep avoiding this one. I'm going back to Pod. How about Happiness is a Warm Gun?
No, and mostly because it's a cover, and I just prefer the original.
Fair.
I had it on the shortlist. I cut it. I actually prefer this to the original, but I think it's an amazing cover. But no, I don't have it, Justin.
All right. On my own. All right. Adam?
I just want to find someone on Pod, so I'm going to stay there again, even though we should explore the later stuff. But this song makes me emotional when I hear it, and it's "Oh."
Oh man. No.
Sorry.
Oh!
No.
The violins on that song and just the way she sings. That's just anyway. It's gone.
It's gone. We're covering a lot of ground here, though. We're covering a lot of
Can
ground.
we just mention like how good the Kim and Kelly are at harmonizing with each other?
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah.
All right, Peter.
Okay, let's keep batting for pod here. Opened.
Yes.
No, I don't have that.
We found the one that Adam doesn't have.
I know. I love it though. I love the whole album, so I'm not disappointed.
Okay. I think technically I'll take either, but I specifically took the Last Splash version of Do You Love Me Now?
Yeah, I've got that.
I've got that.
Hey.
I prefer Safari version, but that's because that's what I fell in love with as a song. So I don't care which one you take.
All right. Oh man, unfortunately that means Adam's going to lose, but we are now at Peter's 5 with my number 6 alive. Well, alive and well.
Okay, it's my turn, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm going to go to All Nerve and pick the title track.
Oh man.
Nope.
No, unfortunately no.
These are some of my favorites I'm rolling out here.
No.
Anyway, the kind of emotional ones I do gravitate towards, but yeah.
I do want to reiterate, like, I don't care how broken record this is. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I feel like almost every song was in play. I mean, I really, really, really could have picked just about any song. I mean, there was no easy outs.
Yeah, there's no songs where I'm like, well, that's definitely not going on my list.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Peter?
I'm going to go back to Mountain Battles. How about German Studies?
No.
No.
But
it was very close. Very close.
Same.
For me.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't know where it landed, but it was absolutely, at worst, like somewhere around that 30 mark. I think it was closer to like 25. Let's see. What do I got left here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so maybe we'll do like 2 more, and then we'll dump out. How about I stay on Mountain Battles and go with It's the Love?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Are we out of NTP? Let's see, 5-3 unanimous. There we go. Officially out of NTP. Worst case scenario, that means all of our conversation songs, all the 2s get in. That's the absolute worst case scenario at this point. All right, Adam?
Okay, so title TK, Son of 3.
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Son of 2.
All right, Peter?
Same album, London Song.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, there we go.
I love London. That song that grew on me more and more through this whole experience.
Look at that. 2 from title TK.
Your 6 worked out for you.
Yeah. There's still enough to land another one. It was a slog to get here. But we did. Okay. So we'll do one more round and then we'll dump out. How about I'll go back to the EP. How about Don't Call Home?
Nah.
No.
All right. Adam?
Okay, I'll go. Where am I going to go? I'll go to All Nerve again. And the first half of that album, I love all of it. And I want to go with Wait in the Car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey!
Way. Now we're getting there.
There we go.
That's another one where I'm like, that's unanimous? So, all right.
Yeah, that's a great. It's just that first. Don't you think that start of that album was like, holy hell, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and the way I'm gonna phrase this makes it sound like Mountain Battles isn't as good, but Mountain Battles made it feel like, okay, I'm through the woods. Like the ones that I'm like picking are a little bit more solidified. And then like you said, the first half All Nerve, I was just like, yep, 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 yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I need to stop. I need to start saying no. All right. So none of us are going to get the final say, but that's a good thing. All right. So Wait in the Car was Adam. Peter?
I'm gonna try one more from Last Splash. Flip Side.
No.
no.
Oh,
All right. Well, we kind of cleared through almost all of my stuff, so I only have a couple left here. Start at the top. Hellbound.
I got that.
Hey.
Oh, I'm so glad you guys have got that. I don't, but it's such a good song.
All right. And then next one I have is Saints.
No.
No.
Okay. And then We're Gonna Rise.
We're gonna not.
No. Yeah. No. Sorry.
We're Gonna Sink. All right. And that was my last one. So 7 it is. Adam, you want to see if you can get a couple more into the combo here?
I think I've got 3 left. A song that it's kind of annoys me that it's the last song on the album because it doesn't feel like a last song. But Huffer off of Title TK.
God bless, Huffer's good.
No, I'm sorry.
Don't you think it doesn't seem like a closing track though? I don't know. It feels like an opening track. But anyway, that one. I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to stuff this up. But Regalami esta noche, off of Mountain Battles, Spanish song.
I don't have it.
Okay, and my last one on All Nerve was Dawn Making an Effort.
Nope.
All right, and just for fun, Peter?
So I still had Glorious. I still had I Just Want to Get Along.
Oh, so close.
I had Full On Idol. I had Overglazed, Bang On, and Walk It Off.
Overglazed.
Quite a few of those were in my bigger list. Yeah, here we are.
What was the last one, Peter? I'm sorry.
Walk It Off.
Walk It Off. There we go. All right. Well, you know what? It was, like I said, it was a slog, but we covered a lot of the discography and still managed to get 7 through unanimously. So we've got When I Was a Painter, Cannonball, Do You Love Me Now, London Song, Off You, Nervous Mary, and Wait in the Car. And then what do we got here? 7 that we need to trim down to 3. So let me organize this here, and we'll see what we got. So let's see. Hellbound, Opened, No Aloha, Divine Hammer, Son of 3, Night of Joy, and It's the Love. So if I ask you, Adam, is there one there that you're like, man, that I can't believe that one wasn't unanimous? Is there one that sticks out to you?
They're all solid, very solid. I'm just looking at what we've got. What have we got off Last Splash then? We've got Cannonball.
And Do You Love Me Now?
And Do You Love Me Now? I think there's an argument to say No Aloha should be through.
That's the one that I was looking at too.
Okay. And, again, that's the one or one of the three that I was listening to that I felt wrong about. And it's one that listeners, propped up there as one of the best. So I think you guys are right about that. Let's make that number 8. All right. So we've got 1 through. Okay. So now's the representation question. Do we care about representation? Because if we do,
Yeah.
there's 2 from Mountain Battles alive. At least one of those has to get in.
I think we should care about album rep.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a solid discog, and we should definitely show that. Now the question is, do we take both of them and just call it a night, or do we just take one?
What have we got? Not Night of Joy, and what's the other one we've got?
It's the Love and Night of Joy.
I know which one I'd pick.
Do you have a preference, Peter?
I would say Night of Joy.
All right.
That's the one I was thinking.
Well, there you go.
It's a different sound than what we've got as well. It's a different. It's just a bit of a different vibe than the rest of the songs we've got.
All right. So we've got 3 through from Last Splash. Does that put the kibosh on Divine Hammer?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we need another one from Last Splash. So then the question, and we've got 2 through from Title TK, but we've got Son of 3 alive. We could get another one through Pod, which I think is an incredibly important record for them, obviously, because it's their first. And I guess the other question, are we just assuming It's the Love is out?
I wouldn't object.
Okay, so let's.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right, so let's ask the direct question then. We'll just song by song. Hellbound, Opened, or Son of 3. Which of those 3 would you put in, Adam?
Okay, I feel pretty clear about that actually. That it would be Hellbound.
Oh, nice. What do you think, Peter?
I think it's either Hellbound or Son of 3.
Okay, so it's absolutely not Opened then. So let's drop that. I think maybe we can just kind of do the thing that never helps. Right? Might as well just torture ourselves a little bit. Am I doing this to myself? I love how I just realized Adam chose Hellbound, and that was the one that he was out on. Well, Peter chose either Hellbound or Son of 3, which Son of 3 was the one that he was out on.
Yeah, but for me, it's mostly like I want to give more love to Title TK.
Yeah.
So, but at the moment, I'm going to argue for Pod because we've only got 1 off Pod, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we've got 2 off Title TK.
Yep.
So
That's fair.
it feels to me like it's underrepresented.
Yeah. Well, I think that gives us pretty even representation, other than obviously Mountain Battles only has 1 and Last Splash has 3, but everything else would have 2, which is about as even as you can get. But
I think that's fair.
Yeah. So let's do Hellbound then, and call it a night. Let's see. Sort that out and make sure we got 10. 10 indeed. When I Was a Painter, Cannonball, Do You Love Me Now, London Song, Off You, Nervous Mary, Wait in the Car, No Aloha, Night of Joy, and Hellbound. So, Adam, of course, you know the next layer. Which of those 10 is the one?
I think. Can I pick two?
Well, you can put 2 up for combo, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that there's the obvious, isn't there? A Cannonball. But if I was going to pick a different sound against it, I might pick something like Off You. But yeah, there we go.
What do you think?
But I'm happy to throw. You can throw heaps more in there, combo, if you want.
What do you think, Peter?
I love Off You, but I can't see that as a track one to get somebody into the band.
Yeah, probably right.
So I think it's the obvious choice of Cannonball.
Right, and you hate to do it because you assume it's the one that everybody knows, but also, for all the reasons we mentioned before, people who may have heard it and didn't know who it was, people who may have heard it and haven't heard it since it came out. I think it aged unreasonably well. Like it sounds like I like it even more now than I did when it came out, which is insane to think about. It's just got a fun bounce to it, and it's just really, really good. I don't know what else to say about it. And I think it's saccharine. I think it does, what you want to do with this. It gets somebody to go, yeah, okay, I'll try this. So now thinking about which one has the best chance in the actual best of conversation, unfortunately, I don't know. Like I worry, especially somebody like Fredo. He might go, nah. But
oh god.
But just before the podcast, I played Cannonball to my daughter, my Taylor Swift loving daughter. She's 18, and she started dancing around in the room, and thought, this song's awesome. So, and she doesn't really know the Breeders, so that got her straight away. I think we have to.
Yeah, I think we
look at their list beyond that. So,
yep. I think that's the right call. So, that said, Cannonball is our number one. When I was a painter, I can read. Do you love me now? I can read. Do you love me now? London Song, Off You, Nervous Mary, Wait in the Car, Making Myself Laugh, No Aloha, Night of Joy, and Hellbound round out of 10. Let's let Cannonball get a little moment in the sun. That bass line.
Or a moment in the shade.
Hey-o. That bounce. I remember trying to learn how to play that part, the slide part. There we go. We have done it. It was a slog, and you know what? Before we move on, I actually do want to go back and see how much of this discography we covered. So it was like 67 songs. We covered 40. So only 27 didn't come up in conversation today. And that's because 7 of them were unanimous, and 8? Yeah, like 15 had more than one of us. So I think it just goes to show that this is a really good discography. And if there's a good chance that if you like one Breeder song, you'll like them all. So keep that in mind. And we sold you on the Breeders, so good for you and good for us. How about check this out? We are a podcast. You can rate, subscribe, comment, all that stuff you're supposed to be able to do on Apple Podcasts. Spotify, now you can give a 5-star rating. We would appreciate that. Helps the algorithm, supposedly. I've yet to see proof of this, but I will believe what they tell me until disproven. Even though I guess technically it's been disproven. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just saying a lot of words. How about this? legionofstupid.com is where you can go and listen to the show if you prefer to just listen on a website. That's cool. Click podcasts, click Deprogrammed. About halfway, there's a sign-up sheet. Man, look at that. You want to come play the game? We'd love to have you aboard. Might take a minute to get to you. There's quite the log jam, but we are working through said log jam, and eventually you will get to come talk about whatever band, as long as it's not a band we've already done. You'll be able to come talk about them and see how well you play. Also on legionofstupid.com, there is a Discord link. If you'd like to come hang out in the Discord, that would be cool. If you would like the easy way to the Discord, patreon.com/oh hi Justin is the way to do that. $1 a month gets you in the door, and it gets you, as mentioned, special access to our certain Discord channels. It gets you access to our Discord. It also gets you deprogrammed before the rest of the world. It gets you the after the fact conversation that we are about to have as soon as this is over, and random other audio stuff when I have time. I'm trying to do better at getting more of that out there, but life is life, and as it is, we just do what we can, don't we? If none of that appeals to you, I understand. The absolute best way you can help this program is by telling somebody that you listen to Deprogrammed. Hey, I listen to Deprogrammed, and you should too. We'd love to have you in, and it would mean the world to me. I wouldn't be able to thank you in enough words to do that. So thank you very much for listening. And with that, the Breeders, learn them, love them, people. We'll see you next week. Bye.